I became a believer when I was almost 18 years old. I was signed to a mainstream label, a company called High Records, and they were distributed by a company called London Records. And Al Green was on High because I'm from Memphis. You know, I grew up right across the street from Elvis Presley, and dedicated my life to making music at a very young age. And it actually became a fairly unhealthy pursuit for me. You know, just trying to be a rock star. And the Lord saved me out of that. And I didn't know there was anything that existed that would be called contemporary Christian music. I just started writing songs that reflected who I was then. I mean, every artist sings about what's important to them. And so I just started writing songs about what God had done in my life and what was important to me. And everybody else said, wow, you're playing Christian music. I didn't know that, you know. So, and there was no infrastructure. I didn't know that there were record companies that focused on that genre, or didn't know there was anybody else even doing it. Now, as months went by and years went by, I found that there was some other folks in the country that were doing the same thing that I was doing in Memphis, but we were fairly sheltered. It was obviously very pre-internet, so we just didn't know. I still remember when I heard my first Larry Norman record. It would have been probably 1973, maybe 72, and I couldn't believe that somebody else out there was actually doing a little bit what I was doing, like what I was doing. And so it was a very liberating experience. I remember that.
If you had saw our original album cover, you might not be saying this because our music was it was a little edgy. But the first it still had a traditional thing to it. I'm going on had a beautiful hook to it. I'm going very singy, very this that, another. In the name of Jesus, we have victory. It's very very blocked. But our first album cover we took in suits. We all had on different suits, and we came ready. You know, tied up, knotted up, and we was ready. You know, and then our manager said, "Well, just bring some jeans, bring some jeans and some stuff. We're gonna play around." So we was cool with it, but we never thought it was gonna get on the record. So finally, we put on them jean stuff, and he's like, "Man, that's a good look." He had the guy take a picture and take a couple pictures. So, but we knew we weren't gonna do that because the church. We said, "Man, the church kill us. They'll kick us out." So nobody was wearing that at that time. So what ended up happening is when he came back, he pulled out of the cover, and it was us with suits, and we were so excited. We started praising the Lord, and we made it. We looked for that Light Records logo that was so. Oh, we just done that. We're so proud. He said, I wouldn't get too geeked yet. And he went in the cardboard and he pulled out the other one with us, and we was like, he said, "Gentlemen, that's your cover. If you got enough heart, that's your cover. If you got enough in you to change a game or to change this and change that, that is your cover." And we were like, "Man, they'll kick us out of the church. They're gonna talk about us. Man, we don't mess with it. But that is sweet. But we don't want to mess with it, man. But that is us. But we don't want to." He said, "Man, that's your cover. But y'all pick." And we looked at both of them. Finally, man, we took it around. We prayed about it. And everybody came back about 5, 6 days later. Everybody had to cover for a day, to show their people, goes this, that, another. And we decided to go with that. And a lot of people would not buy our record because of what we had on. They heard "'Tis So Sweet" and they ran into the shops. And one guy, big record shop in Detroit, God's World, he said, "A lot of people don't want the record because what y'all got on. They run in here for 'Tis So Sweet,' and I'm going on and give them my problems, but they can't do it." They said, "No, them guys can't be saved."
I don't think Christian rap has had the impact that it could have had because we did it with our breaks on. You look at the Jay Z's and this new happy guy singer, and it's just taken the secular world by storm. And because I think the church itself hindered the influence and impact that rap could have had and would have had when you guys had the gumption and I think the spiritual insight to to jump on it and make it happen. The church didn't pay for it. We wouldn't buy it because we were comparing it to traditional gospel music. So it was new, it was different, and it received quite a bit of, and I was open and still reticent. So I know that the people who weren't open were really trying to block it. There's a fresh interest because our young people who left the church, and they left by the tens of hundreds of thousands, started listening to secular music. My kids, who weren't even born when EDW started, they get the words. They understand it. They didn't get it from me. We don't play that in our home. I don't even know where they get it, but they got it. So there's a prophetic unction in the universe for rap music to prophesy to the culture. And the church should have been the headlights, and it's been the taillight.